In the starting of the film, we see an 8-year-old child who was very scared, as something kept bothering him and as he was always shy. His parents were very upset about his unnatural behavior and had called an exorcist at their home. The exorcists are a couple and a father of the church. The kid named David has a sister who has a boyfriend named Arnie, and he gets along well with David. He takes David to his room to make him sleep. He makes David sleep in the room comfortably and goes out of the room. But David feels that as someone is trying to open the room, and suddenly he goes and hides in the washroom, but there he feels that someone is watching him. He also sees many hands roaming around in the room, and he is scared to also see blood in the bathtub. When he sees these things he starts shouting and screaming. Hearing his voice, all the family members rush up to the room. David, being such a small kid, gets very angry and stabs his own father. Oh my God! David is then picked up from the room, and as he is being brought down, David starts scratching the walls, as if some evil has possessed him. He is brought down and placed on the dining table. The father starts chanting a few verses from the Bible on him. All the people around him were trying to control him, but during this time, foam starts coming from David's mouth. He becomes very strong, overpowers all and tries to free himself. There seems a big volcano enters and all things shatter here and there and everything like plates, cups start flying and breaking. Some sharp object falls on the father and he collapses immediately. David is trying to free himself from all of them. He twists himself in a unique monstrous way, which is a horrible scene and makes it a highlight of the movie. Watching him struggling, his sister's boyfriend Arnie tries to go in front of him and tell that whoever is inside David's body, please leave him and come inside me. As soon as he said that, David was getting better and was a little relaxed as well. On the other hand, the spirit starts coming inside this young man, leaving David's body, and the spirit changes the face of Arnie. He starts looking more horrific, monstrous, and evil eyes appear. David had attacked the exorcist very badly. The exorcist had to be admitted in the hospital, and the next scene starts inside the hospital where we see him getting treatment. Doctors say that he had a very bad heart attack and he is scared of something evil, and all of them start praying for him. Later we see Arnie was totally normal, and was working with girlfriend, and as soon as he comes back home he can see there is a hole in the wall. As he peeps through the hole, he could see a ghost inside which attacks him. He tries to escape himself, but the ghost gets inside his body and now would start to destroy his body from inside. Meanwhile, he comes out of the house and tries to cut a branch of a tree with a chainsaw, however the chainsaw machine, which does not start. He tries starting it over and over again, as there seems to be someone in the window. When he turns back he sees a ghost and the chainsaw starts immediately, which would have cut Arnie, but he drops the chainsaw machine and escapes. Arnie tries to leave the place, however he is stopped by Debbie. In the next scene we see the exorcist awakening in the hospital, and he says that the ghost has left David's body and got into Arnie's body. He warns to inform David's sister Debbie to be careful. The female exorcist tries to call Debbie, but she doesn't pick up the call as she is dancing to a loud music and she could not hear the phone ringing. However, she tries to call the cops and informs them to go down to their house and save her. As they are dancing on loud music, the man dancing along with Debbie named Bruno gets a ghost inside him and starts acting weird. As a man turns back, Debbie is extremely scared and tries to escape with Arnie. As they get out we see Debbie struggling and Arnie was soaked in blood, as he walks past the road. His eyes turn evil and the police arrest him. In the police station he was being interrogating, we see that Arnie had murdered Bruno and stabbed him multiple times. Arnie says he did not do it. Maybe the spirit inside him made him do that, but the exorcist asks him to read the Bible. If the spirit is inside him it will not allow him to read the Bible. Arnie starts reading the Bible without any hindrance, proving that there is no soul inside him. The exorcist goes to the lawyer, who is not at all listening to the theory of ghost inside him killed the other person. She says to get back to the 21st century, this is not a time to believe all the theories that you are trying to tell, the court will never agree. However, the exorcist asks her to come back with Arnie. He will show her what is happening live. Next, we see a court scene with the lawyer trying to convince the judge that the ghost had killed Bruno. But the judge does not agree with her statements and awards Arnie a life sentence in prison. The exorcist start investigating the case again, and they keep listening to the recordings of the day of murder. Then we see 5 months earlier where David is going back to his old house where he was possessed for the first time. David goes to his room where he sees a waterbed and starts playing on the bed. Suddenly a hand pops out of the bed and tries to pull David inside the bed. As they keep investigating, they go down the basement and see a lot of rats running here and there, and a little inside the basement they find a strange skull which they have not seen before. The exorcist takes the picture of the skull and shows it to everyone. Everyone present there say that they have not seen a skill like this before, including the father of the church. The father then suggests time to go to a senior church father. The senior father says that he has seen a skull like that before and takes them to show his collection. In the next scene we see a woman who is practicing black magic, on a table, and had weird lighting. He also had photo of Arnie. The lady used to do black magic on the person with which the man would be scared, and be convinced that there is someone along with him, like a soul. Then the exorcist meets a detective, who says that he has seen a case like this before as well, and shows them a picture of the skull he had. The detective says that he will take them to a place where the incident happened. The older case was concerned about 2 girls, of them one was killed and the other one is missing. They all go to the place of incident and exorcist starts to perform her duties. The exorcist goes back to the past and she sees 2 girls playing in the place. As they play, one girl stabs the other because a demon had entered her. The exorcist acts as if she was the murderer girl and stabs something and keeps running to edge of the mountain and was about to fall. As she stands at the edge of the rock, suddenly a hand comes and start pulling her down, and her husband saves her as she gets back to her senses. The exorcist says that the missing body of the girl is inside the river only. The body is then pulled out of the river and the case is solved. The exorcist starts her work to find out what exactly happened and touches the hand of the dead girl. She starts to look at a cave and enters the cave. To find out an old woman doing witchcraft, with a lot of things placed on the table. She then asked her why is she doing all these things. However, suddenly, a ghost-like heavy-built man gets up from the mortuary and tries to attack her, running. Soon as she jumps up on her to kill her, the male exorcist pulls her hand back from the dead body and she escapes from death. The exorcist gets a book in which it is written how the witch is killing all of them and how they kill her. As he starts reading the book, a big ghost, whom we saw in the mortuary, comes back and tries to attack the male exorcist. He has a big knife in his hand and tries to kill the ghost. However, his junior holds him firmly. As the exorcist gets back to his senses, he sees that he was about to kill his own wife, who cries in pain, and the scene ends here. In the next scene we see that the female exorcist goes to the senior church father and asks him what is all happening. However, he shows a book on which photograph of a small kid is seen, who is actually the witch and ironically, is his own daughter as well. The father takes the exorcist to a basement where there is the same cave that the exorcist had seen earlier, and she finds the witch practicing black magic again. Incidentally, the witch appears and kills her own father. Later the female exorcist goes a little ahead inside the cave to find the same table which she had seen earlier open, which the witch was practicing black magic, and thinks this is a good opportunity to destroy the table as she starts moving the table. But the table is very huge and she's unable to move it. She forcefully tries to push the table, however she's unable to do so. There appears the witch in front of the table and tries to attack the exorcist. She attacks and tries to kill her. In the meantime her husband comes to the spot desperately searching for her. He gets a vision that the lady is in the basement. He tries to break open the basement door and opens it up successfully and runs to save his wife. The exorcist down below is struggling to save herself from the witch and starts running. However, she sees a mirror and is unable to go any further. There the witch attacks her and tries to kill her, but the exorcist hits her with an object and escapes. Then the witch goes to her husband in the avatar of his wife and possesses him, taking complete control of him. We see Arnie getting hallucinations on the jail bed, as he is possessed repeatedly. He keeps bending in a peculiar way and no versus or medicine could control him. The witch orders him to kill his wife with a big hammer. He attacks his wife with the hammer, and then suddenly he gets back his past to see they met for the first time in their happy moments, and visualizes how much he loves his wife. As he thinks of his past, he starts getting back to normal, and heads straight to the table and hits it with the huge hammer. He breaks the table into pieces. Both of them get back their senses and start feeling normal. However, the witch gets weaker and bends herself in a unique way, rolling on the ground, and gets killed herself. Meanwhile, Arnie is also getting better and is out of possession. He is free of any black magic now. The court orders him, 5 years in jail as it does not agree for the concept of witch inside him killing Bruno. Later all the witches go away and everyone are free from witchcraft. Later Arnie marries her girlfriend after returning from jail. Here ends the movie. Hope you like our narration. Please share and subscribe.